Feeling alone, lonely. Maybe you've put yourself inside a cage, or maybe you feel like somebody else has. Let's get into it. Now, in this life, there are going to be many times that you feel alone. And after what happened X amount of years ago that I will not mention, but y'all know what I'm referring to, that created a state of internal banishment in a lot of us. When we look at loneliness, why we are alone, okay, there's a few things that we do need to look at and ask ourselves and get honest about. One of them is, am I alone because I'm angry and I'm bitter with the world and I believe that I've not gotten my fair shake? Well, maybe. And I'm not going to say that that is wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. There has been an active movement against people who want to connect, okay? People who want to be genuine. And it's a story old as time. Oftentimes, what happens is we become angry, some of us become bitter, and we end up pushing away the things that are the best for us, the things that we may need the most. And that's all right. Because if you're listening right now, that means that you're wanting to change and you're wanting to have a new life and you're wanting to feel connection, which is something that is now listed as a critical need for a human being above food, shelter, and water. Now, these are facts, okay? And why? Why is connection so important, Shine? Well, connection is important because since humans have been rocking around this spinning blue ball, we have always been parts of tribe, parts of a community. And one of the oldest forms of punishment that we have done to each other is banishment. If you did not fit into the tribe, if you did not fit into the community, the worst thing that they could do to you was banish you from said tribe. And why? Well, because banishment is a long, slow death. Now, the thing is, today, things are different. People don't put the value, the time, the commitment into things that they should. Not just for everybody around them, but for themselves. But a lot of people have got caught up in this. How fast can I get what's mine? How fast can I take something from somebody else to advance my position? Well, the truth of that is, it is actually pretty easy to do. It's incredibly easy to take advantage of somebody. But it's not something that you should do. And in fact, I know that you know it's something that is wrong. That if you slowed down just a little bit to think about, you would never do that if you knew how it felt to be done to you. Now, that's a good lesson, all right? If you want to get ahead, if you want to figure out where it is you're going, you got to look at where it was you were at, okay? And why I say that is because I'm a big believer in the past is very good for one thing. Pointing out the patterns, helping us identify the things that we would like to avoid, that we would like to not repeat. You need to take a look at these things so you know what part is yours and what part is coming from the outside. This is a crucial step for getting yourself out of this head spin that you're not enough, that you're not worth it, that you're alone because you deserve it. I can guarantee you that that is not true. There are very few people in this world, if any, that I believe are truly, at least out of the gate, manipulative people. Manipulation is something that we learn as a defensive mechanism to protect ourselves due to the trauma and hurt that we have left unprocessed. Now, men, I know we're all having a hard time. I know we're all struggling. And women, I know you are too. For a long time, both sides have been being fed lies. Boys don't cry, women look pretty, so on, etc. And if you don't fall into those two categories, which are very narrow, well then, you're not a man, you're not a woman. Well, I beg to differ with that. I absolutely beg to differ with that. Because here's the thing. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody has something that they can offer. But there are also a whole pile of people that are just hoping for you to slip up so you can be taken advantage of once again. And if you have found yourself in this situation, I dare you to get honest with yourself. I dare you to take a look at the people that are closest to you. Because typically, it's the ones we're closest to that we hurt the most. Okay? And then they leave us. And then we cry about it. And then we blame the world. And that's okay for a minute. But you got to get back on that horse. All right? You got to understand this world owes you nothing. And you owe it everything. And you owe yourself even more. If you're not going to believe in yourself, if you're not going to hold your head high and keep them shoulders back, no one else will. No one else will believe in you. You will not attract what you are trying to find. In fact, you'll do the exact opposite. You'll become a propellant. Now, the sad thing in all this, I find truly, is that there are amazing women out there who are stuck with bad men and great men who are stuck with, let's say, preoccupied women, okay? And for us men, we believe that having that woman, having that thing on your shoulder, sometimes just having it is enough. But I want to tell you something, it is not enough to just put somebody into your bed, into your house, into your life, around your children perhaps, that does not deserve it, that does not respect you. And women, this goes for you too. I'm going to tell you, we're all aware of the things that we need to do. Oftentimes myself, I have missed this. I have missed this train. I have let it leave the station too many times. And that's why this is something that is very close to my heart, okay? There's a whole lot of love out here. And there's a whole lot of darkness. There's people who seem to get their jollies out of just going around, coming on to you either on this forum or in your real life to say something nice to your face just to drive that dagger deep in your back, okay? And we know what's happening. We know what's going on. But because you got a big heart, because you care, and because you believe that that person will change, you stick around and you hold on. Yeah, that's a head scratcher because, wow, when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see. But once you're on the outside, you go, oh man, how did I allow that to happen? How did it get so bad? Well, I'm going to tell you, you didn't do what I said just before. You allowed it to happen. You recognized it, and you pushed it down. And you recognized it again, and you pushed it down. Now I'm going to give you a challenge. Stop pushing it down. Let it go. One of the most peculiar, interesting, blessing things that has happened in my life is when I learned to let things go. You know what happened when I did that? Everything I needed found me. And now I have what I want. Figure out what you need, and you get what you want. But the trouble with force, okay? Now listen to this now. You can't force nothing on nobody. You can try. Most people will go along with it because most people are passive. That's the word I'll use to be nice. And if you are one of these people who is passive, it can be a flaw, but it can also be your super strength when you realize that that passiveness is your superpower. And once you start actually listening to all those things that you dismiss that are right in front of these eyes, remember, he gave you 2 of these and 1 of these for a reason, right? Because he wants you to use them. And he wants you to use both of these because he needs you to listen. Okay? You get 1 crack at this. Whatever happens next, we're literally all dying to find out, right? And I ain't no rush for that. And I do not hope that for any of y'all. Not before you're called home. But in the meantime, continue to build what you're building. Look at yourself. Look at your relationships. And ask, is it worth it? Am I investing time into a losing battle? Am I investing time into something or someone who is using me? Have I been used? And now I'm angry. All of that is understandable. And how you got to fix it is to understand if you stay angry, you're going to keep pushing people away. If you stay complacent, the ones you do have are going to leave. And if you don't love yourself, baby, ain't no one else going to do it for you. Now, you know what I'm going to say, so say it with me. Keep on shining, baby. Ooh, yeah. Subscribe, like, and share. Be good to one another. Love.